love being black, man. You gotta love being a black man in America, man. When you still got this good music being played, you gotta love being a black man.
Of the place now. This is the entrance. Yeah, this is my uncle. Yeah. We are at the entrance now.
If you want to conquer a people, take away his identity, take away his name, take away his culture, take away his food, and that motherfucker will be barking the way you tell him to. He will bark, purr, and do anything you want him to do. I promise you. You want to know how to control someone mentally? Take away his culture, take away his identity, and he'll have nothing else but what you tell him. That's what you're looking at. And then when you have culture and you don't appreciate it, right? Then what happens? I'll pay you to sell your soul. That's what the African is doing, right? He'll run all the way to Europe and he'll give up his identity just to make a little European money. You see what the fuck poverty does to you? When you're poor, you know what poor people have to realize is that when you're poor and you have nothing, all you have is your identity, your honor, your respect, your integrity. Black people lost that shit. So now look at us. Look at how we act. And there goes history. Yeah, that's what I thought. You better think about who you're dealing with, you heard? You're dealing with a fucking man. My motherfucking words will put your ass to rest. Have your ass speechless, you heard? You think you know what's going on in the world? I'll put you to sleep.
Supporting black business, but the black man himself has to be made aware of the importance of going into business. And once you and I go into business, we own and operate at least the businesses in our community. What we will be doing is developing a situation wherein we will actually be able to create employment for the people in the community. And once you can create some employment in the community where you live, it will eliminate the necessity of you and me having to act ignorantly and disgracefully, boycotting and picketing some cracker someplace else, trying to beg him for a job. Anytime you have to rely upon your enemy for a job, you're in bad shape. And he is your enemy. Anytime, you wouldn't be in this country if some enemy hadn't kidnapped you and brought you here. On the other hand, some of you think you came here on the Mayflower. Whether you are a Christian or a Muslim or a nationalist, we all have the same problem. They don't hang you because you're a Baptist, they hang you because you're black. They don't attack me because I'm a Muslim, they attack me because I'm black. They attack all of us for the same reason. All of us catch hell from the same enemy. We're all in the same bag, in the same boat. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. All of them from the same enemy. The government has failed us. You can't deny that. Anytime you live in the 20th century, 1964, and you walking around here singing, "We shall overcome," the government has failed. This is part of what's wrong with you. You do too much singing. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging. Cassius Clay can sing, but singing didn't help him to become the heavyweight champion of the world. Swinging helped him become. So this government has failed us. The government itself has failed us. And the white liberals who have been posing as our friends have failed us. And once we see that all these other sources to which we've turned have failed, we stop turning to them and turn to ourselves. We need a self-help program, a do-it-yourself philosophy, a do-it-right-now philosophy. It's already too late philosophy. This is what you and I need to get with. And the only way we're going to solve our problem is with a self-help program. Once you change your philosophy, you change your thought pattern. Once you change your thought pattern, you change your attitude. Once you change your attitude, it changes your behavior pattern. And then you go on into some action. As long as you got a sit-down philosophy, you'll have a sit-down thought pattern. And as long as you think that old sit-down thought, you'll be in some kind of sit-down action. They'll have you sitting in everywhere. It's not so good to refer to what you're going to do as a sit-in. That right there castrates you. Right there it brings you down. What goes with it? Think of the image of someone sitting. An old woman can sit. An old man can sit. A chump can sit. A coward can sit. Anything can sit. Well, you and I have been sitting long enough, and it's time today for us to start doing some standing and some fighting to back that up. When we look at other parts of this earth upon which we live, we find that black, brown, red, and yellow people in Africa and Asia are getting their independence. They're not getting it by singing, "We shall overcome." America is just as much a colonial power as England ever was. America is just as much a colonial power as France ever was. In fact, America is more so a colonial power than they, because she's a hypocritical colonial power behind it. What do you call second-class citizenship? Why, that's colonization. Second-class citizenship is nothing but 20th century slavery. How are you going to tell me you're a second-class citizen? They don't have second-class citizenship in any other government on this earth. They just have slaves and people who are free. Well, this country is a hypocrite. They try and make you think they set you free by calling you a second-class citizen. No, you're nothing but a 20th century slave. Just as it took nationalism to remove colonialism from Asia and Africa, it'll take black nationalism today to remove colonialism from the backs and the minds of 22 million Afro-Americans here in this country. And 1964 looks like it might be the year of the ballot or the bullet. why does it look like it might be the year of the ballot or the bullet? Because Negroes have listened to the trickery and the lies and the false promises of the white man now for too long. And they're fed up. They've become disenchanted. They've become disillusioned. They've become dissatisfied. And all of this has built up frustrations in the black community that makes the black community throughout America today more explosive than all of the atomic bombs the Russians can ever invent. Whenever you got a racial powder keg sitting in your lap, you're in more trouble than if you had an atomic powder keg sitting in your lap. When a racial powder keg goes off, it doesn't care who it knocks out the way. Understand this, it's dangerous. And in 1964, this seems to be the year. Because what can the white man use now to fool us? After he put down that march on Washington, and you see all through that now, he tricked you, had you marching down to Washington. Yes, had you marching back and forth between the feet of a dead man named Lincoln and another dead man named George Washington, singing "We Shall Overcome." He made a chump out of you. He made a fool out of you. He made you think you were going somewhere, and you end up going nowhere but between Lincoln and Washington.
I'm one of the 22 million black victims of the Democrats. One of the 22 million black victims of the Republicans, and one of the 22 million black victims of Americanism. And when I speak, I don't speak as a Democrat or a Republican. I speak as a victim of America's so-called democracy. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. If you go to jail, so what? If you're black, you were born in jail. If you go to jail, so what? If you're black, you were born in jail.
If you go to jail, so what? If you're black, you were born in jail. 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 You were born in jail.
If you black, you were born in jail. In the North as well as the South. Stop talking about the South. Long as you're south of the Canadian border, you're South. Anytime you throw your weight behind a political party that controls 2/3 of the government, and that party can't keep the promise that it made to you during election time, and you're dumb enough to walk around continuing to identify yourself with that party, you're not only a chump, but you're a traitor to your race. I say, and I say it again, you got a president who's nothing but a Southern segregationist. I say, and I say it again, you got a president who's nothing but a Southern segregationist. From the state of Texas, they'll lynch you in Texas as quick as they'll lynch you in Mississippi. Only in Texas, they lynch you with a Texas accent. In Mississippi, they lynch you with a Mississippi accent. They got a thing that they call gerrymandering. They maneuver you out of power. Even though you can vote, they fix it so you're voting for nobody. They got you going and coming. In the South, they're outright political wolves. In the North, they're political foxes. A fox and a wolf are both canine. Both belong to the dog family. Now, you take your choice. You're going to choose a northern dog or a southern dog. Because either dog you choose, I guarantee you, you'll still be in the doghouse. This is why I say it's the ballot or the bullet. It's liberty or it's death. It's freedom for everybody or freedom for nobody. America today finds herself in a unique situation. Historically, revolutions are bloody. Oh, yes, they are. They have never had a bloodless revolution or a nonviolent revolution. That don't happen even in Hollywood. 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 You don't have a revolution in which you love your enemy. And you don't have a revolution in which you are begging the system of exploitation to integrate you into it. Revolutions overturn systems. Revolutions destroy systems. A revolution is bloody. But America is in a unique position. She's the only country in history in a position actually to become involved in a bloodless revolution. The Russian Revolution was bloody. Chinese Revolution was bloody. French Revolution was bloody. Cuban Revolution was bloody. And there was nothing more bloody than the American Revolution. I hope that the white man can see this. Because if you don't see it, you're finished. If you don't see it, you're going to become involved in some action in which you don't have a chance. And we don't care anything about your atomic bomb. It's useless. Because other countries have atomic bombs. When 2 or 3 different countries have atomic bombs, nobody can use it. So it means that the white man today is without a weapon. If you want some action, you got to come on down to earth. And there's more black people on earth than there are white people on earth. I only got a couple more minutes. The white man can never win another war on the ground. His days of war victory, his days of ground victory are over. Can I prove it? Yes. Take all the action that's going on this earth right now that he's involved in. Tell me where he's winning. Nowhere. Why, some rice eaters ran him out of Korea. Yes, they ran him out of Korea. Rice eaters with nothing but gym shoes and a rifle and a bowl of rice. Took him and his tanks and his napalm and all that other action he's supposed to have and ran him across the Yalu. Why? Because the day that he can win on the ground is past. Up in French Indochina, those little peasants, rice growers, took on the might of the French army and ran all the Frenchmen. You remember Dien Bien Phu? No. The same thing happened in Algeria, in Africa. They didn't have anything but a rifle. The French had all these highly mechanized instruments of warfare. But they put some guerrilla action on. And a white man can't fight a guerrilla warfare. Guerrilla action takes heart, takes nerve, and he doesn't have that. He's brave when he's got tanks. He's brave when he's got planes. He's brave when he's got bombs. He's brave when he got a whole lot of company along with him. But you take that little man from Africa and Asia, turn him loose in the woods with a blade. That's all he needs. All he needs is a blade. And when the sun comes down, goes down, and it's dark, it's even Stevens.
I want to make sure I acknowledge my Lord. It is now July in the year 2023. This place is very historic because this is the place where I actually became the Mahdi. My family rejected me because I was going through a metamorphosis within myself. They couldn't understand exactly what the hell was going on with me, as I could not understand. I was not doing anything wrong. I was just praying, being devout in my studies. And I believe that scared my family. The fact that they seen my devotion to be a better Muslim. This type of environment, nature, whenever the prophets seek refuge with Allah, they would seek refuge in the wilderness. Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, all the ancestors, all the greats escaped to their natural calling. And so when I started to notice my family persecute me with their words, with their body language, with their eyes, with their bodies, then I escaped here in Clinton, Maryland. I was in a tent. It looks like someone come and take it down. Here's where I escaped. It looked like people have actually came here and settled themselves as I left. This is 2017, about 5 years ago. Yes. As I climbed the hill, this is my hill. What's amazing about this location is I used to be back here suffering and crying to my Lord for help and guidance because I could not understand why my own family, who knows me so well, to see the unique change that I was going through. It is not like I changed for evil. I didn't change for the worse, I changed for the better. Yes, this is where my tent was, on the hill. I even know because see this right here? I used to make my incense. Look at this. I used to make my incense right here, and I would sell. I believe this is artifacts. And you know what's amazing about this area? I see movement here. I see movement. There you go. They made a path here. What's amazing about this location is this little escape, or this little area of wilderness, is right in the middle of a neighborhood. So when I used to pray out here, the people they used to come in their balconies and hear me. Wouldn't even come here and feed me. Wouldn't even come here to see what was wrong. Wouldn't come to give a fellow human being a helping hand. And this is an area that people make at least $50,000 or more money a year. Yeah, I began to realize what humanity was all about. See, this area, it's amazing how this is still here. I used to be right here, and I used to read the Quran and be in my meditations and trying to find guidance from my Lord. I won't go any further because there's sharp branches and I don't want to rip my pants. But I was here by myself, right here. This is, if you really want to go on a spiritual retreat, this is what a spiritual retreat is. You're escaping into this. You're definitely going to find your Lord here. When you hear the sound of birds and nature. Yes, indeed. It's a very good becoming, coming back to yourself. Humble beginnings, because this is exactly how it started. It was from this location where Allah inspired me and told me, you are the Mahdi. It was right here. This was it. I was in a tent right here. 2017. This was the area. This is where I was. It was revealed to me that you are the Mahdi. This was the location. This is a historical site, right? This is an actual historical site for me. And one of these days, this area is going to be closed off because it's sacred. This is a sacred land, right? It's a sacred holy ground right here. It's going to have to be cleaned out, because this is actually a sacred holy ground. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised me up out of here. It was from this location where I said, it's time for me to start preaching. Thank you, Allah. I love for myself.